In this tutorial, you will learn how to animate the link underlines using HTML and CSS. So in this example, we've got a navbar here, very simple. And when they hover over each link, it displays the underline in an animation. So rather than it just appearing on the screen, it actually shows an animation. So here's an example of where you'd want to use this on a real website. As you can see, it looks really nice. It looks nicer than a lot of the other alternatives, and that's why I'll be showing how to do it in this tutorial. Okay, so at the moment we've just got this blank HTML document here with an unordered list, and these list items: home, services, price, and about, with link tags with just no, it doesn't lead to anywhere. As you can see here, there's no styling or anything done, so I'll do it with you in this tutorial. Okay, so first thing that you want to do is we want to center this list in the middle of the screen, just for the purposes of this tutorial, because there's nothing going to be on this page, because it's just sort of a dummy website. It's not a real website, obviously. And then we want to create the style, link to it here. I've already linked to it from when I attempted this previously. And now it's common practice to use box sizing border box on everything, on all the elements in the page, because that will improve the dimensions when you use width and padding. And then what we're going to do is we're going to set the background of the body to be black. So the way that we're going to do that is background color black, but we also want to use custom font. The font that we're going to be using is called Open Sans. You can find it on Google Font, just a regular version. So I'll put it into the head of the document. Put a comment there. And font family, so all the text on the inside of the body will be given this font by default. And then we want to do height 100, viewing width, viewing height. The reason for this is for the to help out the center vertically div, which is going to be a flexbox. Okay, so now we're actually going to create the center vertically class, so we can center everything horizontally and also vertically. So display will be flex. The flex direction will be column, and then we're going to say align items, and justify. Both of these will be center, so it'll be centered both horizontally and vertically, and we want to set it to be the same size as the body element, so we do width and height 100% for that. And then if you refresh the page now, this is going to be centered, but the problem is we've got the scrolling bar here, which we don't want. And the way that we remove that is because, well, it exists basically because our browser adds a margin onto the body by default, and we overwrite that by just specifying it to be 0. And now when you that bar is now gone, so there's no scrolling. Okay. And so now we need to style the actual list itself. So at the moment, it's blue, which we don't want because it's a link. So we're going to overwrite every different type of link, like so. And then we're going to say text decoration none, and color we'll set it to be white because it's background. Yep, so that's what we want there. And now we'll say the unordered list element. We'll say list style none. So that will remove the bullet point, but obviously we can't see the bullet point because it's set to black. But if we could see it, it will now be removed. So margin 0. Again, this is to remove the default padding and margin that our browser puts on onto the unordered list element, but we don't want that, so we override it as so. And then the unordered list elements are contained in this unordered list. So to select them, we use combine selector, and then we'll say display block actually. The reason why we don't use display inline is because that adds padding, which we don't want. So we use display block and then float left. So that will display everything horizontally instead of vertically, which is the default direction of a block display element. It will also remove the default margin and padding. And then we're going to style the link tags, which are contained within the list item. So again, another hierarchical selector. And then what we're going to do is we're going to say position will be relative. You'll see why. It's to help out with the underline, which will be an absolute. And then we'll say font size 50 pixels in this instance to make them a lot larger. And obviously everything's spaced together, so we're going to add some padding, space them out so it looks nicer. 20 vertically, 20 horizontally. Okay, now it's padded out. And just to aid with the teaching process, I'm going to set the background color. Sorry, not to white because that wouldn't make sense. I'll set the background color to black. Okay, that would make sense as well actually. There you go, red. So you can actually see that. I'll remove this in a second. It's just so you can actually see what's going on. And what I'm going to do now is we're going to create a pseudo element. So before. So this is basically a way of inserting styling before each A tag basically, but still within the list item element. So content, we're not actually going to include any text in, so we'll just say empty string. Position will be absolute. So this is why we set the link tags to be position relative. The width will be 100%, so it will take up all of the width as specified for the link tag. Height will be 2 pixels. And then we're going to say bottom 0 and left 0, because we want it to remain on the bottom and not the top. And then we're going to say your background color will be white. And then if we refresh the page now, see we'll have this line added here now. And the reason for this, the reason why they're all connected is because we gave a line to every single one. So the way that we animate it now is we want to say visibility hidden. We don't use display none because that doesn't work with transitions, which is what we're about to do. And transform scale x, the horizontal axis, scale x to 0. So it's currently squished, so to the point where we can't see it. And then transition or 0.3 seconds will be the animation duration. Ease in and out will be the animation type. And then what we want to do now is we want to combine a pseudo element with a pseudo class. So hover, but puts in a colon there. And then simply what we want to do now is change only 2 attributes. So visibility, visible, so we can actually see it this time when they hover on the link element. And transform scale x to 1, so it stretches out to its full width, which is set here to be 100%. And then if you refresh the page now, it should be gone until we hover over one of the links. And obviously I'm going to move this now because we only added it there just so you can see what's going on, to see why the line is positioned at the bottom basically. And now if you refresh, there we go. So this is how we do it. It's very nice actually. And yes, so if this tutorial helped you, then be sure to like and subscribe. That would be really good if you showed your appreciation, if I helped you. But if you have any queries or you want me to elaborate on a certain topic, then be sure to post whatever you want in the comments below, and I'll be sure to answer. I'll answer it to the best of my ability. And yeah, so I hope this helped. Peace out.